I wait for this thing to, I can stare strangely into the camera as I wait for this thing to, so that I can turn it down. So we're going to do a very Laban based exercise class today, and I can take off my glasses. Um, we're going to start with breathing, getting our breath support, our number one important thing coming in. There's Linda. So we're going to inhale, open up, and then exhale. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake out whatever you don't need to hold on to. Inhale, open, and exhale. Letting go. Inhale, open. Exhale. Big, deep exhale. Really blow everything out. Inhale. Breathe all the way down into your guts. And exhale. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And I'm turning from side to side as I do that, right? I'm letting everything go. I don't know what those things are called, but they used to have them in the backyard, and it was like a game, and it was like a sprinkler that had like two tubes coming out, and they went all over the place. So when you shake out like that weird, crazy sprinkler thing. Inhale and exhale. Shake it out, let it go, everything releasing. Shake, and then let's just bounce for a second. And this bounce is just for us to find gravity, right? And then we also find the rebound from the earth. So there's like this natural rebound response that comes back into our body as we let ourselves kind of drop. And imagine that your joints are all like springs. So it's not like, but it's like, there's really resilient rebounceability in the fluid in your body. And you're just finding ground with that, finding a sense of connection to the earth, to the planet. As Mary Abrams, one of my continuum teachers, says, gravity says you belong here. Gravity says you belong. So just tuning into that. The feeling of belonging right here where we are right now on the planet, just simply by the fact that we are here on the planet. It means we belong. Circling and twisting, looking around behind you. So we're spiraling. If we were talking in Laban terms, this would be the rotary factor. The rotor-rooter, the rotary factor. And then we're going to come in and we're just going to internally and externally rotate the arms. So you can see how much I'm letting this go into my shoulders, into my chest, into my lungs. Internal rotation, external rotation. Think of this happening all the way into your pecs, your lats, your little subscapular muscles. Exhale. Inhale, internal spiral through the arms, external spiral. Two more. So this is like that cat-cow, but we're really focusing more on this upper body, internal rotation, external rotation. Then we're going to take this up and do like, we're going to have our dance moment. You can let that spiral move through your body and have a little weight shift. So from one side to the other. One side is going up, you're leaning away from it, and then the other side. And if we add the head, we can have some hand-eye coordination, meaning I'm going to look at my hand. I'm going to look at the other hand. Yeah, and then coming in, circling the shoulders, big circles, lubricating up your spine as you're moving. All the joints from the feet, through the knees, through the hips, change direction, up and over. And again, really letting those scapula move on your back. So a lot of times when people don't move very much, things get a little more stuck together. Like our fascia forms to help us hold the shapes that we hold, right? It's like, you could think of it, this is actually a great analogy. You could think of the fascia, and sometimes it actually does look like this, like cobwebs, right? If nothing's moving in an area, then little cobwebs can start to form, and then like as the dust flows through, it might stick to the cobweb or a bug or whatever. So we have like this like stuff because nothing's happening in that space. Same thing with your body. If you're not moving, It's getting kind of cobwebby, which makes it harder to move, right? Let's do a backstroke with the right arm, swimming through the space, and then the left. So big arm circle. Arm circle is a Bartenieff fundamental. We are now doing it standing up. Irmgard Bartenieff called the fundamentals because she wanted them to be like, these are sort of foundations of movement, but not, she didn't want to lock them in as specific exercises that had to be done a certain way. Change direction, up and over, swimming. And now I'm shifting my weight from side to side as I'm swimming. And if this hurts at all in your rotator cuff, just go smaller. Go with those little elbow chicken wings. And I'm letting my head go off vertical. So I've got this head-tail connection. And as my pelvis is moving, there's a heel sits bone connection. So all of these connections in my body. Sometimes, I mean, I've seen videos of like a dancer moving and somebody has connected all these lines. So you see these like trace lines of movement around the dancer. We can think that we have them. Like there's a relationship between our sit bone and our heel. So when I move, this whole relationship is moving. It's not just like these parts that are all over the place, but there's a whole related moving body. Let's take it down to the floor. Oh, and I want to let you guys know, especially all my New York people, that I am going to be in the city in September doing a show. And the show is going to be from the 14th to the 19th. Open it up with these with a group called Ocean All Over. It's not actually my show. I'll be dancing in their show. It's going to be at Theater for the New City in their Dream Up Festival. So just to throw that out there, this is 2022, September, Theater for the New City with Oceans All Over. And this what is it called? Splitting My Sides is the name of the show. Sideways and forward. There's an amazing singer, Breezy Lee, and incredible costuming. I haven't actually seen the show, I've just seen parts of it, but I will be in it and helping make the whole thing happen. So it would be great to see you there. Side stretch and forward and around. Open it up. One more time this direction. Ha. Yeah, let the rib cage, lungs, and heart mobilize inside your body. Change it to the other leg in front. Non-dominant leg comes in front. And we'll go sideways. I'm going to go slower because this one I feel more with my knee injury, which is still injured. It's getting better in many ways, but still there. Sideways and forward and around and open. Sideways, forward, around. Blossoming into the world. Sideways, forward, around, and open. Last one. Sideways and forward and around and open. And then bring both legs out in front. And let's take the back of the hands towards each other again, spiraling and inhale, open chest, lungs, heart. We're going to go past, like we're winning the race, coming through. Exhale, feeling the relationship from your fingertips through your arms, through your rotator cuff, into your scapula on your back. Just come back here with the hands behind you and move your shoulders up and down a little bit. Let your scapula, your shoulder blades, mobilize. And then exhale. Inhale, open it up. Let's mobilize the scapula and arms again, feeling this relationship. And then back of the hands towards each other. Open it up, take it through. We're moving through. So we're opening the front of the deltoid and pec, pushing through, and then exhale back. If we were in ballet class, I would have a stop here. I used to always have a stop here, but I feel like especially women tend to need more movement there. One more. We're going to come forward. Reach out through your thumbs and make circles. Like you're hitchhiking. And then turn the thumb backwards. And then keep going the same direction. Can I do that? Can I do that? Yes, slowly turn the thumb forward. Keep going back in that same direction. And then bring it up and change direction. Circling the thumb forward. And then circling the thumb backward. If you do it slow, it's easy to stay in the same direction. Ha, and then hands on your knees and just pull back. We're going to lift the chest and heart, opening up and exhale. Hollow and curl. Inhale. Open it up, chest to the ceiling, lift, exhale. Hollow and curl, soften. Inhale, arch, exhale, curl. Inhale, open. Yeah, really pulling up and through. My hand, I've got some stuff on my knees and my hands are really slippery, so I'm having a hard time really pulling through. Try and draw your scapula down, draw your lats down, engage, pull through. So you're drawing down as you lift your sternum forward and up, and then exhale, take it all the way down to the floor. And let's do easy loose knee drops from side to side, just letting them fall from one way to the other. So this is different than a Bartenieff knee drop. This is a Laura Ward knee drop where we open it all the way through the middle and close. I'm sure other people do this too, so I do not own that. It's just a nice way to massage out your back and let each leg have some individual expression. So there's freedom in that connection into your hip socket, and your inner thighs get a chance to open up. Now we're going to change it to a Bartenieff one. So we're going to bring the feet up. Heels are lined up with your sit bones. You can take a little push-pull, little sort of heel rock, pushing with your foot, with your feet, letting that ripple through your body. And then we're going to drop both knees together. Your feet are going to be a little bit apart. And then from here, you're going to think of smashing a cockroach with your coccyx, also known as your tailbone, squishing across and bringing it up. So knees drop together, and then pelvis initiates. The knees kind of stay behind. Pelvis initiates as if somebody's taking you inside of your hip bone and squishing it across, spreading your belly across like butter. So that's what starts the movement here. The knees stay behind. A lot of times people want to lift a knee, and then there's no connection in here. So think of squishing across and coming up. Drop the knees, squish across and come up. Drop the knees, squish across and come up. Drop the knees. Could be on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, drop. Exhale. Pelvis initiates. Let's take the hands on the knees and make big circles. Again, freeing up your femur head and your hip socket, greasing up, lubricating that joint. Change direction, other way. Yeah, we're actually going to, I think, do most of the Bartenieff fundamentals right now, just for fun. So let's do this thing. It's a pre-thigh lift. You're just going to slide your foot out and flex your foot and then slide it back in. You're going to slide out, flex your foot, and slide it back in. So this is very relaxed and easy. We're trying to sort of stay fairly stable, sort of, but also really. So we're trying to stay fairly stable in our pelvis. But we're not doing it by getting super constipated and contracted. We're just thinking of keeping the bones in the same location. So like as I slide my leg out, I can very easily just keep my hip bones pointing toward the ceiling, and I don't have to squish up my guts at all. I can just do this very easily. So letting that be super easy, sliding out and in, and I'm keeping my weight kind of on the floor as I slide out and in, right? And then I'm adding that flex just to get that extra bit of lengthening in the back and then releasing. Now we're going to change it into an actual thigh lift, and it's just knee arcing up into space. You can inhale down, exhale up. Trying again, I'm leaving my foot fairly relaxed, but you're trying to not engage every abdominal to lift your leg. You're trying to lift your leg as easily as possible. And we're kind of using the psoas to do this. If you put your hands on either side, so here's my midline, here's a little bit to the side. If I stick my fingers in here, I can feel my psoas. I can feel my psoas engage, and I can do this thigh lift more from psoas than from my abs, right? We tend to over tense our guts, and that's not helpful for our digestive system or our organs or anything like that. We shouldn't have to walk around holding tension, right? Most animals don't. Some animals do because they can be kind of tense. Like you can have a cat that's really tense or a really loose goose cat. And we're the same as people. We hold different amounts of tension, but we shouldn't need to hold so much. So let's take this into a heel rock. Let it go. Let everything release, head and neck and jaw. Let that ripple through your chest and lungs, easy and loose. Exaggerate it, make the movement bigger, fake it a little bit, fake it till you make it, and then come in. Both feet on the floor. We'll come back to that thigh lift one more time. And you can let your leg just fall back down. So it's lifting and falling, lifting and falling. Yeah, feeling in. Yeah, I can just feel my psoas working. And my abs are pretty loose, no extra tension in there. All right, let's change it. We're going to do this is slightly different than a regular bridge. It's called a forward pelvic shift. So it's kind of like the plane is coming out, an airplane is taking off of a runway. So it's like it's going, and then whoosh, it comes off. So I do it like this. I inhale, I start my exhale, and then I do a little pull. So I'm not trying to push up as high as I can. I'm just trying to little slide forward and up with the pelvis. We're going to do regular the way I normally do them, just going up higher. But just for now, try this. See if you can kind of feel your hamstrings engage, not just because it's like little pull. And I can totally feel them engage in there. And you can see them a little bit on my body. There's that pull, push. Deep breath on the exhale. Last minute, the plane takes off. And I feel like my feet are still connected to the floor. I feel my hamstrings really connecting into my sit bones. So again, there's that heel sit bone connection. My toes are connected. Just a little bit of movement. All right, let's go bigger. Let's press all the way up and just circle around. So we're mobilizing our pelvis. We're mobilizing our spine. We're pushing with the back of the body, pushing with the legs, and then change direction other way. And then let's take up as high as we can. Take the arms up, and you're just going to, again, internally and externally rotate the arms as your pelvis is high. Feel the four corners of your feet. I don't know if there's four corners. I really feel like there's more like five if there are corners at all, but it's something that they say in yoga. So the two sides of the back of your foot, the two sides of the front of your foot. Maybe you feel the tips of your toes as well. Try to feel all of that on the floor. As we're working with this, it's as if you have a ball in your hand and you're just going around the outside of the ball. And then release that open, roll it down through your spine, all the way down to the floor. Shake your legs out. Shake out, shake out. Shake your arms, shake your legs. Let it go. Have a tantrum. Free up the head tail. And then take a happy baby pose. Finding some happiness in your baby if that's possible. If you can't find happiness in your baby, imagine what it would feel like if you could. Use your imagination. Breathe, let it go. And then let's go to an open position in an X. So my X is slightly longer than it is wide. It's not a perfect X. This would be more of a perfect X. I'm just a little bit longer than that. And I'm going to do an elbow to knee on one side, and then so this is called body half, and it's right side versus left side. It is a homolateral pattern, one side working, and then the other side working. Oh, something really weird just happened. I think I might have frozen. But it looks like it's all still going on. Okay, then we're going to shift it to a contralateral pattern. We're going to take an elbow to knee crossing and reach it out. Exhale up, inhale down. You can lift your head up or not. Open, exhale. Open, exhale. Open, exhale. Open. We're going to do this now with a straight arm and leg. So coming up, think of this happening right, I'm going to point my toes for this, right in the middle, right in front of you. Like if something went straight out just above your belly button, that's where you want to try and touch. So finding midline and bringing your arm and leg on these sort of diagonal pathways to the midline out in front of you. 4 more. You can leave your head on the floor or not. 3, 2, last one. Staying in your X, take another heel rock. See if you can release your body, sending a ripple and a wave up and down through your spine, through your legs. Let your head and neck soften, and then release that. Turn your head from side to side. And let's come back into this position. We're not going to do arm circles on the ground today. We've done knee drops, we've done thigh lifts, we've done pre-thigh lifts, we've done heel rock, we've done arm circles standing, we've done forward pelvic shift. We did a lateral pelvic shift in that circling. So I'm not going to do that again, but we're going to press back up and interlace our hands behind our butt if possible. Walk your shoulders close together. Push the floor away, lift up. We're going to rock to the outer edge of the foot and then inner edge. So this is external rotation in the hip, internal rotation, or with the femur. Externally rotate. I've got a cat hair. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Using your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Pushing the floor away. So my pelvis is kind of bobbing up and down, but I'm trying to keep it high. Closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Come in into tippy toes and lower. Press it up. Releve and lower. If you need to walk your feet in, walk your feet in so that when you go up, it's pretty much perpendicular to the floor. So there I'm in a sort of a Z between my knee and my foot. When I press up, my foot's perpendicular, or my leg is perpendicular. Use your breath. Back of the body working, hamstrings back, butt, push with the arms if you want. And then you're going to stay up and you're going to circle your ankles. So I'm circling mine away from each other. Change direction the other way. And then come in, pulsing up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Open the arms, open the shoulders. Slowly descend into the floor. And then take your arms and legs up. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Let all the tissue in your body, all the fascia, all the soft tissue get really soft. And then we're going to open the feet wide and internally rotate one knee at a time. Spiraling in, breathing into it. I'm turning my head away from my leg on this. And then come back into center. And let's go with, I love them. They're my favorite, the big leg circles. So big or small, circling with your leg. Lifting up, opening it out. If you want to make it a little harder, push the floor away with your arms. You can flex down and point up. Taking your time, working in your range of motion, in your tempo. Might be different than mine. I am a speed demon. I really have no business drinking any coffee, but that doesn't stop me. I just have 1 coffee in the morning. Last one. And release it. Just wiggle around again, let it go, shake it out. Soften your belly, soften your butt, soften your ribs and lungs. Relax your neck and tongue. Yeah, so our tongue is taking up a lot of space inside our mouth, right? It's also not just in this front space, it's connecting in the back space. So our tongue is a sort of big volume in there. Let it wake up and move around a little bit. We tend to hold a fair amount of tension, most people, in their necks and throats and in their tongues. So stick it out. Also, like if we do the droopy voice, that's a really relaxed tongue. And people don't think we're very smart if we talk like that. But I notice when I talk like that, I really relax. And I become so much less tense doing that talk. Like I have to say, it's the greatest diffuser of anger or anything like that. Just talk like Droopy and everything feels okay because you're so relaxed in your tongue. So yeah, me and my boyfriend do it all the time, and it always just cracks us up. All right, arms out to the side, legs up, twisting from side to side. You can do this with bent or straight legs. This is a nice spiraling pattern where we're getting that rotary factor in our spine. If your back is hurting, turn your head in the same direction as your legs. If your back feels good, you can try turning it away. Using your arms and your back, getting that big stretch if you're dropping all the way down. One more time each side. And bring it in. And let's roll backwards and forwards. So this forward backward roll is in the sagittal plane. We have our up down and our forward and backward in this. It is the wheel plane. If you want to make it more intense, take it forward. I can feel that my knee is actually getting better because this doesn't feel too bad. If you want to, like, yeah, you can make this really big or not. Or you can keep it small. And if it hurts to roll forward and backward, just go side side. And if you feel like making it even more exciting and fun, you can do like some Pilates version where you try to balance yourself when you come up. See the light. Just an option to play around with. Shake it all out, let it go. Let's do, so that was rolling forward and backward in the sagittal. Let's open and close. Folding in, unfolding, allowing this to massage through your back. Opening, closing. So I try to open and engage and radiate outwards. And then as I'm closing, I try to really soften and relax, especially in my shoulders and neck. So this is this sort of active radiation outward. And then I'm sort of surrendering and melting into the ground, letting my head, neck, and shoulders release. Opening and closing. So we could say very engaged and active, and then softening and melting. Finding this balance, right? Where we feel these different edges, where we're really letting go, or we're really activating. And then let's come back in and flip over. Let's go hands and knees. So I have this this stuff, Joint Ace gel. Let me show it closer. And this is, they are obviously not paying me. One of my clients gave me this because they were allergic to shellfish. And I don't know what's in there, but it is like, I feel like it's really helping my knee. But I also did see my chiropractor and he did this like sort of fascial scraping thing that was so painful. And I still have a bruise here. You can't really see it on there, but super painful. But I feel like it actually helps integrate. Like my fascia in there might have been getting a little weird and stuck. So it got smoothed out and it does feel better right now. So it could be a combo platter of those things or the PT exercises that I'm doing myself, but somehow it's all starting to come back in and get healed. So if you have injuries, just encouraging you to address them in some way, whether it's seeing a PT or a chiropractor, osteopath, any of that stuff, whatever works for you. All right, let's do some wrist stuff. So let's do first the circles. So hands wide, big circles, chest, lungs, and heart, mobilizing. Yes, we can open our hearts, giving yourself some kind of self encouragement affirmation in this. Like, it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to be in friendly relationship with your body. In fact, it's healthy. Change direction. Your cells know what you're thinking. They know what you're saying to them. Your cells, your cells are listening. So kindness and compassion in your heart. For yourself. All right, let's come in to this position now, getting down into this, elbows to the floor, come up onto your tippy fingers, lower, elbows down, up. And you can take your weight as far forward as feels good, making it harder, or take it back if you're struggling at all. Take your weight back onto your knees. Yeah, finding the best location for yourself by listening into your own body. And then let's take one hand down, put it in the center, lift the other hand up. So one hand up to the ceiling. Once it gets up there, internal and external rotation, spiraling. Push the floor away with the bottom hand, open on the top. Then we're going to take that hand, thread the needle, take it all the way through. You can come over your shoulder, take the hand that was on the floor up, wrap it around, grab your thigh, spiral deeper or not. You can also use the hand that's on the floor to push down into the floor. Just activating those muscles a little bit more. And then release, unscramble, and come up. Other hand goes into the middle, hand to the ceiling, internally, externally rotate, push the floor away with the bottom hand. Try to keep a long neck there. Spiral inward and outward, just all the way through, from your fingers through your radius and ulna, those bones in your forearm, down into that rotator cuff, into your heart and lungs. And then thread the needle, take the hand up, wrap around. If you can grab your thigh, push down with this hand, open, spiral, breathe. Let's do it one more time each side. First hand goes up to the ceiling, rotate in, rotate out. Try to feel like the balance between the top and the bottom here. Upper hand, bottom hand, equally alive. And take it down, thread the needle. Other hand comes up, wraps around, grab your thigh, push down with the floor hand. Big breathing into your lungs. Let your breath help you. And then release, unscramble. Other hand up to the ceiling, internal, external rotation. Pushing the floor away with the bottom hand, reaching the top hand up. Take it down. Spiral, push the floor away, other hand comes up, wrap, push down with this hand. And let it go. And come up. And let's take our elbows onto the floor. We're going to do this slightly more advanced. Your one foot is going to cross underneath, come to the side. From there, you're going to step the back foot forward like you're going for a little walk. Hello, everybody. Do some jazz hands. Take it back and come back to your forearm plank. Crossing under, stepping, opening it up, jazz hands. Just joking about the jazz hands. You don't have to do that. In and in. Step, but it is kind of fun. Open, gives it some lightness, some levity. Bring it in and down. Yeah, so exercises could also be fun and silly. Bring it in and down. Cross it, open, jazz hands or not. Bring it in and down. Cross it, open, jazz hands, in and down. And let's come all the way down. Onto your belly. Knees are bent, let them fall from side. I totally have the monkey's hairstyle. I gotta cut the front. Everything else has been cut a little bit, but this business of going in my eyes is too annoying. It really works for Chrissy Hind, but I don't know if it works for me. All right, opposite arm to leg. Inhale up, exhale down. Use your breath. Big breathing. Let's let that go for a second. Shake out your feet. Curl your toes under. Take your head onto your hands. Just push up and down. Relax your knees, relax your neck, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Droopy tongue. Relax your hips, relax your legs. Just soften, jiggle. Encourage jiggling. That means it's not holding tension. And then come in and let's do regular Pilates swimming with a pumping breath. So the pumping breath is going to be, I'm like really sticky right now, and like every piece of cat hair is going up my nose. I get back in this room all the time. Just sharing that piece of information with what's happening in the reality of my moment. Okay, we're going to come up and we're going to do a huff and puff pumping breath. Arms and legs out behind. You really want to deeply breathe that. So it's not shallow breathing, it's deep down into your diaphragm. Huffing and puffing. Good. Hands next to your chest. Inhale, open, look up, and exhale. Take it back down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And next one, inhale up, bend your knees. See if you can touch your toes to your head. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale. Last one. And then take it back into a child's pose. Knee is much better. I couldn't do a child's pose on Thursday, but it feels like it's a little more integrated. Still, I don't want to stay there forever. So I'm going to go up, rounding up onto the crown of my head, then reaching my tail back down. If I was not injured at all, I would take my butt all the way down to my heels. But since I am a little injured, I'm not doing that. Good. And then shift and release and come up. Let's do some regular push-ups. No frills, just push-ups. I'm going to do my push-ups with my elbows open out to the sides. I'm going to start with my knees off the floor, and then I may go to knees on the floor, depending on how it all works out. Hands are going to be slightly wider than my mat. Off we go. As many as you want to do. Maybe 10, maybe more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to keep going. I've put my knees down. 11, 12, made it a lot easier. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Woo! That's more push-ups than I've done in a row, maybe in years. So yeah, I was really inspired by the push-up woman that's in a TED Talk. Might be a TEDx talk, but she talks about doing 100 push-ups a day because she didn't like push-ups. So like challenging herself and taking it in small bites. So it's actually a really good TED Talk. Highly recommend it. Especially if you need inspiration for anything. Like sometimes if I just watch Netflix and really dark TV shows or horrible things, I can get kind of bogged down. So I like to watch the Huberman podcast or TED Talks or things that are a little more uplifting. People who have stories in their own lives about, I don't know, things that inspire them. So there's the pea pod. Let's do a kick, touch it in, turn it out, kick, and come down. Up, in, rotate, rotate, batma, and lower. Batma, passe, in, out, batma, lower, up, passe, in, out, up, down, up, passe, rotate, rotate, up, down, up, in, turn it out, kick, and lower, 2 more, up, in, rotate, rotate, up, down, last one, batma, passe, rotate, rotate, batma, and lower. Let's go right away to the other side. So flipping over, rolling around, however you want to do it. Peapod's checking out the whole perimeter of the room. Here we go. Batma, passe, in, out, batma, lower, up, in, out, up, down, batma, passe, rotate, rotate, batma, down, up, in, out, up, down, up, in, out, up, down, 3 more, batma, passe, maybe 4 more, in, out, up, down, let's do 3 more now, up, in, rotate, rotate, kick, lower, 2 more, up, in, rotate, rotate, batma, down, last one, in, out, up, down, ha, rolling over onto your back. Interestingly, where I actually felt that the most was in my QL, in my side body of my, the bottom side, like, because that was what was working the most to stabilize my core. So from here, let's just do a really small baby arch and curl. So just line yourself up, find your head, tail, pick up, shake out, whatever you got to do to feel like you're in line. And just take a tiny little arch and curl. Easy and loose. So the point of this is not to tense up and engage all your muscles. It's to find movement in your spine. From your head to your tail, letting that arch and curl. And then it's going to be head to tail, side to side. So it's like a lizard. Head and tail go to the right, head and tail go to the left. Like if you were a lizard, you'd walk along like that. Maybe. So head, tail, side, side. Like you're wagging your tail and you're shaking your head, but you're on your back. So this maybe could be a great massage out for your sacrum as you're getting some shear on the tissue in the back body if you're just squishing across, right? We're not rolling through. It's kind of sticking as we move our body. So that is shear. And we want to have all those things in our body like compression, shear, what else? What else is happening? There's one more thing that's kind of strengthening, lengthening. All this stuff is going on. Let's roll back and forth again. And let me just check the time. I know what I want to do. And hopefully we still have time. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we're going to come to all fours and take one leg out to the side. So this would be if I was totally square. I'm going to move slightly so that my knee is right in the middle between my 2 hands. And this hand, when I kick my leg, if my leg goes really high, I'm going to come up a little bit on this side of my body. So I'm going to go up and down. 2, 3, 4, right out to the side. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Circle it to the back. Square yourself back off. Up and down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shoulders wide, neck long. 7, 8, 9, 10. That knee comes down. We're going to move over. Other leg comes out to the side, up and down. So because of my angle, it looks a little different, but you want to think of the knee right in the middle. This leg right out to the side. So it's not back there on the diagonal, but right to your side. There's a big fold in your hip crease. Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it to the back space. Square yourself back off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to walk the knees back a little bit and then a big circle with your hips towards the floor and then back behind you. Mobilizing side, side, as well as front, back. And then change direction. I would say that this exercise is a good anti-hip replacement exercise because you're moving that femur head up in that hip socket. That is going to increase the, and there's weight bearing, right? You've got your body on it. That's going to increase the integrity of the joint and the bone. So inside of your hip socket, here's your femur, your thigh bone. It's coming up. Here's your pelvis. Here's your lesser trochanter, a little knob. Here's your greater trochanter. Let me come closer so I can show you this better. So let's just say this is the top ball of your femur head connecting into the hip socket. Outer knob, which is your what is it called? Greater trochanter, inner knob, lesser trochanter. The lesser trochanter is connecting in to your psoas, the long line of your psoas. So that's how that is a little bit of a hip flexor, that psoas muscle, which is deep inside. Sometimes people think that this on the surface is a psoas. It is not. It is deep inside. Here's my lesser trochanter. Here's my greater trochanter. Femur, there's that, and it's in a ball and socket joint. That's why it likes round movement. So when we do these exercises where we're working in a really three-dimensional manner, we're increasing the integrity of our bones, our fascia, the hydration in the system, which is part of it's the synovial fluid in the joint, which is the lubrication for the joint. So if we move in a round way so that we're spreading that lubrication all around evenly, it will lubricate that way. If we're only moving a little bit like just walking or whatever, just doing one sort of dimension of movement in a joint, we're not getting that full bubble bath of good juju in the joint. So just throwing it out there. Oh, squeaky deeks. Let's just roll from side to side. He likes to stand up and look out that window. That is one of his things. And then we're going to spiral and take it down. So again, here, as we roll across, you're rolling across, and we're doing that relationship of the femur head in that hip socket. And we're rolling across our greater trochanter and our femur head and our hips. So it's like all of that stuff is getting action. And connecting into our greater trochanter are some of our rotators. So some of the muscles that enable us to turn it out, like our piriformis, is connecting in to your greater trochanter and then coming in the inside towards your sacrum, right? So that allows you to do that movement. So we want to have all these sort of three-dimensional ways of working with that tissue so that we're not just working in linear manners. Like the inside of our bodies are really three-dimensional, really interrelated in multiple layers and multiple directions. And within those directions, there are no straight lines. Everything's either curvilinear or much more rounded than that. Let's do an ankle to knee pose. Yeah, my knee is a little weirdo still, but it's getting better. So I can start to do things I couldn't do before. And if I flex my foot here and stay in that, I'm kind of, yeah, it feels fine. So working with that, if you want to make it a little easier for yourself, you can leave the bottom leg straight. Either way. I'm actually not going to stay in that one very long. That was enough for me on that side. See how it is on the other side. Shifting it over. How do I feel about this side? And if I had my block somewhere nearby, I would stick it under my knee, but I don't have it. So I'm just going to hold my hand there. Taking it down. Yeah, that's not too bad. And shaking it out, letting it go, letting the tissue get soft again. We're going to do one more thing, and this is an interesting knee exercise that I learned from a PT online. And you're going to take your arm, go underneath. Then from here, you're going to let your foot internally and externally rotate. We are going to move the tibia and the fibula a little bit in there. So there is a tiny bit of internal external rotation in the knee. Often I just say all that the knee does is this, but in reality, there is a little bit of movement there. So with this movement, we're strengthening the muscles that support that movement so that it's not just going to snap. Change it to the other side, same thing, in and out. So my knee is pretty stable, but the front of my tibia is moving a little bit, in and out. Good, and let that go. Let's stretch both legs out in front, give them a bang, rotate in and out, take it forward and down, soften into it, free up your spine. And then come up. And so sometimes when we're looking for models of what the body does, like the model is not what our body is or does, right? The body is what it is and does, and it has its own set of ways of being. And even from person to person, those can be very different. So when we use, like, even if you're thinking like of a plastic model of a skeleton, that is nothing like a live living body, right? So, or even if it's like an actual cadaver, it's dead. It doesn't have the fluid life force. So consider that even in your bones, there is this fluid life force that is going on, right? I mean, we could say sort of, it's our fire element, it's our spirit, it's that which like animates us, keeps us warm, shifting from side to side, whatever that is. Every religion has some kind of version of what that is. But just your life force. So considering that every part of your body in you, yeah, maybe not your hair and maybe not your toenails, but your teeth, they are alive, bending and straightening. And then roll it up, coming up. And sometimes I think of, because the models that we have been sort of taught to think about bodies are usually not alive, sometimes we don't think of our body with the life force that's actually in there. Inhale, open, reach it out and up, and exhale. And because we are alive and we have our thoughts and our imagination and what we do in the world, it means that the way that any injury is going to play out in one body could be very different in another body. And also we have a lot more capacity to heal ourselves if we stay in like a positive, supportive relationship with our body, right? Like very easy in dance and fitness to really objectify ourselves, but we aren't objects. We are living processes. We are alive, right? And we're here on the planet doing our best, right? Inhale, open, exhale. It isn't helpful to beat ourselves up, is what I'm trying to say. So the self-talk, it's so important. And also the compassion for ourselves, capacity to have our emotional life, to have our accept what's going on for us is what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes it can be, I looked at a video of myself teaching a somatic class and I was like, I am on crack. I'm such a speed demon. I'm like, how is anyone going to slow down into their bodies with me directing them? And then I'm like, well, that's what it is. It's going to reach some people. It's not going to reach other people, right? So, and maybe, and I've been the person who's had a teacher and thought, wow, that's the worst teacher I've ever had. 2 years later, that's the best teacher I ever had. Did the teacher change that much? No. Did I? Yes. So it really depends a lot on where we are, what works for us at any given time. That is my inspirational talk, and I am going to